What will Brighton do next season? I think they're going to get relegated next season. Last season, they were extremely lucky, and at one point, they looked gone. They weren't defending well, and they weren't scoring goals, which is a terrible combination. The way that Graham Potter wants his team to play isn't sustainable for a whole season. It's kind of like a possession with high intensity football, and the team just runs out of steam way before the season ends. And I think the same sort of thing is going to happen again next season. I also think that this squad is just good enough to compete in the Premier League. Looking at the squad, if Neil Maupay and Leandro Trossard aren't scoring the goals, I don't know who is. Combined last season, they scored about 15 goals, but they need goals from elsewhere. If these two players are out of form, this team is in serious trouble. Looking at players like Aaron Connolly, he's a player that does have some Premier League experience now, but he's not really a player you can rely upon because he doesn't really offer a lot to the team. All he does is just running behind. He can't hold up the ball. He doesn't really make good decisions. So he's somebody that just comes off the bench and does a job every now and again, but they need more than that. Alexis McAllister, don't really know him. I think he's kind of like a youth player. Solly March, he's a player that wasn't really picked last season. He was overlooked, so, they can't rely on him. Dale Stevens, he's more of a defensive midfielder. He does a job. Basuma, I think this was a very good signing by the club. He's done well in his first season in the Premier League, and we'll see what happens next season. Lamptey, another good signing. Looks like he's really settled into Premier League level. He's doing a really good job on the flanks, and yeah, we'll see him continue next season. Daniel Byrne, he's been solid at left back. Well, I say solid, he does make mistakes, but it looks like he's Premier League proven. Lewis Dunk, he does a decent job in defense. Adam Webster, this is surprising because he started off a right back and now he's playing more of a central half position, centre back. And he doesn't play all the time, but when he does play, I think he does a decent job. And yeah, I'm actually impressed that he's been able to make the switch and, deliver like he has. Matthew Ryan, he's a solid goalkeeper. Bernardo Fernandez da Silva, don't know who he is. Davy Proper, now he's a player that's been in and out of the team as well. I think he has played most of the games this season, but he's a player that hasn't been in the best sort of form this season. So we'll see what happens next season. Aaron Moy, he's a player that did get quite a few games. He did join late and he's had to work his way into the team, but I think he's done a decent job when he's played. Glenn Murray, it looks like he's past it. Johan Bash, they're willing to sign some other players because you just can't rely on players like this that, only deliver once in a while. Pascal Gross, now this guy has fallen off a cliff. I don't know what's happened to him. Had a brilliant first season with Brighton. His second season wasn't so good. And this season he's just been anonymous. So one good season in three just isn't good enough. I think he does have the talent to really recapture that form, but I don't know what's happened to him. Sometimes players they have one good season and then they disappear. So we'll see what happens next season. I already talked about Trossard. Martin Montoya, he's another player that can do a job, but he's not consistent. So no, they need to sign some players, maybe one or two. The transfer window is going to be open until October. I'm not sure if they can bring anybody in, but it might be too late by then because the season starts in September, so you want to get it to a good start, get players settled in, and I don't know, I guess we'll just see what happens.